Hey everybody, Weem here. Welcome back to Medieval Engineers. I'm currently on a new world because I've updated the game and I wanted to show you shovels, which is a really cool part of the update that just hit. There's also been an update to the user interface. I can actually show you that here really quick. At least some portions of it here. If I bring up my inventory, you'll see some things are laid out a bit differently. Lots of changes across the board for the UI. I'm not going to go too into detail there. I really just want to show you the shovel stuff. Now, I am currently on a new world, and that's because with the big update, this update, it seems as though I will have to wipe the server in order to apply the new update, and I don't want to do that yet, right? I want to show you the fort. We still have more to do there. So I've got this new world to mostly just show you the shoveling. So I want to start with that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert the game back to the previous version and jump into the world and show you the fort, show you how things are progressing. Some cool stuff there. Had some weird stuff happen there recently too. But anyway, we'll get into that in a bit. I'm primarily excited to show you the shovel stuff because that's what I'm super excited about. So let's go ahead and do this. Now right off the bat, we've got a couple new things. We have landscape stakes. It's a thing we can make. I think that's just 2 sticks to make them. And then a bunch of dirt. I have plenty more of these than I really need. I'm in creative mode. Obviously, I can kind of spawn in what I want here in this world. So basically, I've got the dirt. I've got the sticks. Let's go ahead and do this. Now, here's how this works. So we could previously mod in the shovel. That's what we had on the server. Where basically we can shovel dirt, but we really don't have a lot of control over like flattening terrain. So what's cool here is we can actually take, oh, that's my phone, sorry about that. Let me just turn that down. We can actually take these stakes and I can plant them in the ground. So here's one, I can do one here, and these can be really anywhere. Although you do have to have just 4 sides. So there's the 4. And then we could take rope. We do this. I really like this. This is cool. So I can click here, click again for this point to here, click there to here, and click here to there. If I get the shovel out now, you'll see the plane. That is the plane for which if I dump dirt in here, it will fill only to that line and not over it. You can actually hold shift and then you actually can pile dirt above it. And then if this is actually through the ground, when you dig, it will only dig down to the plane. So for example, if we wanted to raise that area to get a little bit more space in here, this is an area that we could actually fill in here. So as I right click, I'm dropping dirt in here because I already had some in my inventory. So if I bring this right up to the edge, you'll see it is going to basically go outside of that, right? It's got to have like a support, but we can really level this out. And what's cool is it doesn't have to be perfectly flat. You can do these really cool angles where all 4 of these are kind of at different heights, if that's kind of what you're looking for, and it will fill to that. Now, I do seem to recall they said something along the lines of if you get really steep with it, where if you would imagine gravity is going to start to play a part in how things go, then there can be issues. But anyway, you get the idea here. We can do some really cool stuff with this. I'm very excited about this. One of the things I'm most excited about with this, I was explaining to somebody, was that in a world like this, we can obviously dig. We can take a pick and dig into the ground. We can take a shovel, dig into the ground, but we're kind of just digging holes. We can't really make anything flat. Everything's kind of lumpy. As best as we try, we can get it somewhat flat, but we can't do nice like ramps or things like that and do them very well. And when you can do something like this, it changes a world like this. It doesn't seem like a big thing sometimes, but in games where you can actually level terrain, it's huge because now you don't have to try to focus on an area like this and say, this would be a great place for a castle because of these hills. I don't want to build in the flat area because I want it to be up high. I want elevation. And some people want to build in a flat area because they want a lot of flat space for their castle, but when you can do things like this, when you can raise and lower the terrain and make it level, you really can make even the most, what you might consider a boring area, really cool with different tiers and everything. So a very cool update. It seems like a subtle little thing, but in games like this, I think it's really huge. Okay, so there you go. We've got the area filled in. This kind of pit came in and it kind of made the little curve in here. We've actually brought the land over. Now I ended up raising this a little bit too high on the outside of the plane, trying to fill in down there to get some more space. I had too steep of an edge and it wasn't raising up to the plane I wanted it to, so I could go back in there and level that, but you get the idea. I've got this part filled in, which is exactly as I wanted it. Now, we we can also use this to basically lower terrain, as I mentioned before, and so we can do some really cool things like this. For example, we've got this road coming in here, and it goes up and it kind of makes this turn, but we could try and level this out a bit. So for example, let's say I level it out. We can just try to make this a little less steep. Maybe we want to be able to go this way without it being as steep. So we can actually take this line, maybe bring it up, and then over this a bit, right? So we're going to clip through this a bit to here. And you can do triangles too. We're going to bring this to like here and down to there. Sorry, that one was there. I thought I had the rope in my hand at this point. So there we go. We've got this rope to here. We want to go from here over to here. And finally from this point down to there. So there we can actually see that would be the area we would be looking to cut away and lower, essentially, leveling that out. Now you can actually get some much bigger shapes or more interesting shapes by adding more of these. You can actually connect these together. It's just that you can't have more than 4 sides to one area. So if you really wanted to kind of cover all of this space, you can do more. For example, we could do something like this. As far as I know anyway, this is supposed to work. So we can go to here. We can go from here to there, there to here. Right, so you're getting the idea there. We can actually carve out all kinds of space. Now this would get to be too big. If I were to cut over there, apparently it won't work. Let me actually just try and connect it. I just want to see if it lets us connect it. So it does allow the connection there, but apparently, I'm assuming, there's going to be some kind of issue if we actually tried to dig that out. So that's a thing that we are not going to do. We would actually just take the rope here, maybe go to this point, and then from here, maybe over to there. So anyway, you get the idea. You can actually do quite a bit with this, just moving it around and everything. So let's go ahead. It looks like the plane actually, and that makes sense. We're lower here. That's right, we're down. So it's going to clip all of that. But like I said, we can actually come in here, start digging this out, dig this down a bit. Now the interesting thing here is that I don't think, I'm trying to decide if I just haven't got down to the plane yet or if it's not showing up yet, or not showing up for some reason. Let me just try to dig. Okay. I'm going to try to dig well below where the plane might be. Yeah. So you can see we're not digging anything now. We're not getting dirt. So it's hitting the plane. It's just not visually showing us the plane as we can see it here. I'm guessing it's just below that line. It did seem as though when you dug it out, at least in the stream I was watching, you could get pieces of the land you're digging to go below the actual visual indicator. But it looked like most of it did stay above. I assume actually if I hit shift, maybe it works the reverse way too. I know if you hold shift you can dig, yeah, okay. So if you hold shift you can pile above the plane, and it looks like if you hold shift you can dig below the plane. So very good thing to note there. Raise this back up. Okay, there you go. We've got everything leveled out. I ran through here very quickly with the shovel. I think I could probably clean this up a little bit more, but you get the idea. Within each triangular area here, you can see what we were going for. We had areas over here, especially where the dirt, or the rope rather, was kind of clipping through the terrain. But you can see now that it's been lowered and leveled. So yeah, this is really cool. This is a huge thing, and like I said, this really changes the world for me in games like this, where now really I can go anywhere and know that I can make the terrain what I want it to be. So I feel a lot less restricted. In that sense, it kind of opens the world up. At least for me, that's what I find. And so anyway, that's why I find this particular update. I was telling people, I was like, I know it just sounds like shovels, but it's a huge thing for me in games like this. It's a really big deal. The other thing I wanted to show you briefly was just the UI stuff a little bit. Just talk about that the UI has been updated. I think it looks way better. Not that the other one was terrible, and you got to start somewhere, but obviously you want to keep making things better, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. I really like it. It's very clean and everything. I like the icons. There's some new icons. in here and everything for stuff. It's very nice. If I bring up the map, this is one of the things they mentioned in the stream. If you bring up the map, you can hit F1 and get some details about how the map works. This is a little less about UI and I think more about getting help on these things. But anyway, I do think the UI is definitely looking really cool, definitely much better. So anyway, those are the two things I was most excited about in this update. What I'd like to do now is I've got to hop out of the game, basically revert my game back to the previous version, then I can jump on the server and kind of catch you up with what's been going on over there. Okay, I am back on the server. Game has been reverted to the previous update. I'm going to actually stare at the fort here a little bit, maybe run around a little bit so you can kind of see what's changed, which is quite a bit, while I explain this a bit. So again, the server couldn't be updated to the new version, so I don't have the shovel stuff, which is a bummer because this ramp, check this out, I just plowed this earlier too. Man, I would love to make this go from the road right up to that, just as one big level plane. I think that would be great. But as of right now, and this is the night of the update, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that. It does appear as though I would have to wipe the server. I'm going to investigate that further, but I needed to make this video, so I really didn't have time to investigate that for now. I just said, you know what, let's revert the server back. I'll deal with that later. So, so here we are. This is where we're at. You can see the server, or the server. You can see the fort there. I haven't worked on the log cabin at all, the logger's cabin at least, any further than I did last time. I've been so focused on the fort, which I think has really come along quite well. Essentially, the structure is done. All of the walls, for example, roof, floors, those kinds of things are done. And it actually ended pretty easy, or easier than I thought it would be once I got near the top, because the roof pieces are so big that when I thought, oh, now I got to figure out the roof, it was just done. Like I started working on it, was like, oh, this is actually like all covered, so I'm cool. I really just had to focus on getting the walls in. So let me walk you in here and kind of show you what's been going on. And I mentioned that something kind of weird had happened. I think I have that resolved, but I've actually not walked in here since then. Yeah, it looks okay. So check that out. This actually came out pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about this. It really did turn into kind of this big open area, almost theater-like place, but I was actually totally fine with that. At that point, I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to make this, you know, whatever. It's going to just be whatever. Obviously, I have the big W back there. Definitely inspired by Abor's use of light behind the cross and everything, so I thought, well, why don't I just put a big W there? Now I talked about putting a throne and everything here, so like on a raised platform, so I did put this down with timbers just to kind of see, and I thought this looks okay. It did start making me think that maybe this would be better for like a big stage and seating in here, and that may still happen, but I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. I have the columns here. These two columns right here, these actually were not here as of yesterday, but it turned out today, I don't know if it's because I tried to update the server, then we reverted it back, but this portion had crumbled. That rounded corner wall, the floor, and the single column that I did have, it was broke along with some of the floor. So I basically tore that out, redid this as like a 2-column deal, and that seems to be okay. You can see there is a hole in the roof. I'm realizing now I forgot to patch that part, but that's okay, I can fix that later. But anyway, definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. I really like how open it is, and check this out, that opening. I thought that would be really cool to have to let some kind of light in, and I really like how that looks. I think that came out pretty cool. So let's go ahead and explore this a bit. Now if I come over to this side, you already know the bottom portion of this. This goes into where the secret room is, the passageway that goes down below the fort. That's in there. Obviously no shelves or anything. I've been totally focused on getting walls done. You guys had already seen the second floor too. Really not much has changed here. I did add some timber around these columns to give it kind of a support look. But otherwise, I don't think anything's changed here. Let's go up one more floor. Now this floor, I really had a lot of the frames. I think last time you guys were here, all the frames were up for all of the walls. I think that's where I left it. So really, I just had to kind of cap everything, cap the roof. But this is what I really like as well. When we walk over to the middle, we can look down on that area. That looks pretty cool. I did these railings off the side here. And then these two, there's 2 rooms on each side, and they are identical. Let me back up to those. We come into here. They're kind of mirrored they mirror each other. And I actually made a little balcony to step out on here, so you could step out and look, you know, down to the right, over to the left. So there you go. This is like what one of the rooms looks like, one of the 2 rooms in here. And again, it's mirrored on the other side. This floor is symmetrical, left to right, so I don't really need to show you much over there, including what's up above. So I'll walk you up there in a second, but we can actually walk out this door, get this back area. Obviously need to fix that roof. But there you go, we've got light here. And if we go back inside, we can actually go up these stairs. We've got room here for maybe like weapon racks or storage. We can actually step out on a little balcony here to see out the front. And then we can actually go all the way up the stairs. I put this railing around the stairs, and obviously we're at the top of what would be one of the towers. I'm actually going to back my view out here pretty far and let you get this kind of view. So there you go. I love this view. I love backing out and looking at the structures I make from here. It's so cool. So there you go. I definitely like how it came out. It is strange, to be sure. What is the purpose of this building? It really seems more like a theater, right? Well, I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. I thought it was pretty cool. And what I didn't show you, I guess, was down here. There is this platform out above the entryway, and it's accessed via these 2 doors that are right next to the bedrooms that are right at this balcony. So there you go. That's a quick look through the fort of where it's at now. I'm almost feeling like a little nervous because I had the issue with this column over here. I think we're good there and everything, but with the, you know, having come in and seen that issue there, with a recent issue that Vortac had at his house with the roof, which I helped fix yesterday, it's got me a little nervous about things here and how stable things are, but I do want to keep working on this. So right now I'm faced with a little bit of a dilemma. You guys maybe can let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously I could just not upgrade the game and work without shovels and any of the UI updates and be able to stay in this world. I would be able to continue making some structures like I'd like to do, maybe flesh out the town a bit more. I did want to make a house for myself down there somewhere, probably a couple more shops, a couple other buildings, just to kind of flesh it out and make it look like a proper little village. Part of me is thinking that's the way to go, and then we just try to focus on maybe wrapping up the series, because I would love to update the game. I don't know if I will follow this with another series though. Having done the first one and now this one being chapter 2, I may need a little break from the game before I pick up another series. That said, I do still have the server and I've still got time on that. So if I did wrap this up in the very near future, it's entirely possible I wipe it, I update it, and then I open it up to others, not just the few people here, but maybe even some of you, and we just kind of mess around with it, you know, for a couple weeks or something, and then maybe I make some videos of the fun we may have just kind of together messing around. So anyway, that's kind of the way I'm leaning right now. Obviously the other option is to you know, would be to basically stop what we're doing, update the game, and do some other kind of series, which would be possible, but I would probably want to work on something just smaller. Maybe not try and work on a whole village. Maybe just work on a couple buildings, but that could also be the point at which I bring other people in, right? We could do that very soon. So anyway, I'm just kind of talking out loud. I haven't even really thought about this too much. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments. But otherwise, that is where the fort is currently at. I'm actually really happy with how it came out. I have a feeling some of you may be not that into it because there really is no purpose to it. But that's okay. I enjoyed making it and I like how it came out. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up at that. I know this was a very strange episode, bringing you guys in, just showing you how the shoveling works and a little bit about the UI. I know that was kind of random, but those are the two things, again, that I was really looking forward to in this update. And then obviously bringing you in here and just quickly running you through the fort. I'm feeling a little pressed for time because it's actually pretty late for me right now. I definitely got a late start with all the server stuff, so again, I apologize for the totally random episode, but I hope you guys appreciate it. It's what it took in order for me to get you a video today on Wednesday, and while I've always said I didn't plan on this being a daily series, I've been trying to do that and not break the streak. So anyway, that's where we're at with today's episode. It's entirely possible we end up having to skip a day in the near future based on maybe some further server stuff going on. I'm not really sure, but I think you guys understand that, and I do appreciate that. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching as always. Really appreciating the support and everything, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.